What is going on, everyone? My name is NWHunt97 and welcome to another Destiny video. Today we're going to check out the current stats that are on Destiny 2, how to use them, and what's the best stats for the game. Now let's go ahead and get started, and let me explain what do I mean by stats in Destiny 2. I'm talking about these three stats right here. These stats affect your gameplay, your movement, and really just your, overall stats that doesn't involve abilities. Like, I'm going to explain it to you, first off on the top. Okay, so first we have mobility. This stat increases your movement speed and maximum height, jump height. Now, what's actually very interesting in this stat is that while you're sprinting, this stat does not affect your sprint speed. If you have a mobility level of 1 or a mobility level of 10, the sprint speed will be the exact same. However, you just walking without sprinting, or while you moving while you're crouching, and obviously jump height, this number will affect your mobility stat. What's the recommendation for the number of this mobility stat? I'm going to tell you as soon as I tell you about all the stats available. Okay, next up you have resilience. This is basically armor back at Destiny 1, and this is actually pretty handy. So what armor is increases the amount of damage you can take before dying. Now basically, this gives you more health and more shields. If you have like a 1, you basically have like around 190. And if you have like a 10, I think you'll be around maybe 210, not sure. I'm specifically talking about the Crucible. It's definitely different for PvE, but we don't really care about that. Overall, resilience is probably important because you take more damage as you take as enemies are shooting you. Overall, this is actually a stat that's kind of important, but not as important as recovery. Now, recovery it increases the speed of which you regain lost health. So let's say you have 1, it'll probably take like, about 8 seconds to recover your health, and if you have like a recovery of 10, it'll take like maybe 3 seconds to recover your health. So that's how everything works. So those are the three stats, and I'm basically going to number what's the most important ones. So honestly, I believe, and what most people would believe, YouTubers, some of my friends, etc., believe that recovery is the most important stat. Because why? That is because recovery helps you a lot in PvE, PvP, everything. Because you heal faster, and not only you heal faster, the regain activation starts much more quickly than having it around your recovery at a low number. I would say definitely invest on recovery first, and then you focus on the other two stats as well. The second most important stat is resilience. If you have resilience, a lot of people want to know what is the proper number for resilience. I would say the recommendation is at least 4. The reason why you want to have 4 is because if you have 4, you will get 200 HP, and that is actually about the minimum of you should get, because for Crucible, for some reason, 200 just works well with the math, with like how much damage you take, and really just having above around 5, really above 4, it's unnecessary really. Like, you could like survive very little things, but you could survive a good amount of things with, like, having multi-tool hit you on the body like 5 times. I think you'd still be alright. Not sure about that. If you want to know stuff like this, I would highly recommend you go to this YouTuber called Fallout Plays. He's definitely the math whiz, and he experiments on all sorts of these things. So yeah. And obviously the last, but certainly the least, is mobility. It's actually unfortunate because hunters have the highest mobility of all the group. Sprint-wise, mobility is completely useless, like maximum jump height. I mean, you don't really need jump height because you could literally jump on ledges and you could climb on top of them, which is actually really, really helpful because I always fall off the edge because I'm a warlock and, you know, glide, everyone hates glide, and, you know, I just gotten used to glide, and sometimes I'll fall when everyone else wouldn't. I am so glad that you know, that mechanic actually is in the game, and it helps me so much. Like, it saved my life so many times. But with mobility, really the only reason you want to have this is for strafing ability. Uh, what strafing is, if you, let's say I have a gun and, you know, I'm just doing this right here, as you can see. You know, I'm just going side by side, a little bit harder of a target to hit, and by doing that, I won't get as much with certain weapons. And if you have higher mobility, I could actually move side to side a lot faster, which makes me a harder target to hit. Now, I know some people actually like that stat, but honestly, resilience and recovery are a lot more important. Unless you want to be like the strafing machine, then honestly, I do not recommend having this perk. A lot of people are also complaining about just how a lot of the stats work on depending on what your class is. That, you know, sometimes your stat will be in a certain way where, like, hunters won't have, you know, the high recovery like warlocks would have or titans would have, and they wouldn't have as much resilience as other classes would. So a lot of people are kind of frustrated about that, especially hunters. Perhaps Bungie could actually fix this on in the next patch or whatever update's gonna be, where you can actually get certain stats depending on what you can really get any stats you want depending on what armor you get. And honestly, a lot of people will enjoy that because it's a form of grind, and, you know, games like Destiny 2 are all about the grind. So yeah, those are the stats, everyone. You know, am I a big fan of recovery? Yes, I am a big fan, of course, because I'm Warlock, and also recovery is super efficient, not only for PvP, but also for the raid, too. Like, I noticed that just fighting Callus, having high recovery helps a lot. You know, just by, you know, a literal mechanic of you losing health and Callus summoning, like, a really big, bright light to hit you while you're going to do damage phase, which is very helpful. You know, just to have high recovery, just to recover that health after you do that, you know, phase of the fight. Also, yeah, just go for these two stats, guys. If you want to, you know, mid-max yourself as much as possible, just focus on these particular stats. So you can probably have your recovery at 10, and then you can have your resilience at 4, and that's gonna help. That's gonna help you plenty. Mobility, you know, use whatever, don't apologize, as Bones would say. So just use whatever, and honestly, I don't care what you use, but personally, I like to have resilience and recovery at the most important parts of the stat pools. Thank you guys for watching. I know this is gonna be like a very basic and short video, but a lot of people have been talking about it, so, you know, I would honestly give my opinions on how they are. Really the importance of the stats. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you go ahead to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. You could go ahead and you know, it's actually kind of cool because, like, I absolutely love Twitter, and you know, just seeing all sorts of the tweets that I like to see from my friends, from people I follow, you know, like Mr. Fruit and Dado, and even Bungie is actually really handy to see what's going on with, like, patches and stuff like that. You know, also the memes. You know, you gotta look at Twitter for the memes. Facebook's really handy too because I could literally have all my content in another place, and I could just have it there, and it's like no problem. And I also have some exclusive content coming up in a little bit in Facebook, so go ahead and check that out. My Destiny fan page is called NWHunt97 Gaming Community, so go ahead and check that out, everyone. Also, you might check out my Twitch. I'm trying to build it up. However, you know, I'm just trying to focus on YouTube to actually have a setup on YouTube. So once I have that established, that I can start doing Twitch. And honestly, I just need to get some stuff ready for Twitch before I continue with streaming. I feel, from what I've done so far, I feel like Twitch could actually be really fun. And not only fun, but you know, it could be productive as well if you do it correctly. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time. And comment below what you think on how your stats, what do you think of stats and how they are, and you know, what's your favorite stats and what's your favorite combination. Thank you guys for watching. God bless, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.